So once again, let me turn to yet another scholar's analysis of the myriads of evidences that are coming out now on Lehi's journey in Saudi Arabia, and show you his conclusions also. This is in the Journal of Book of Mormon Studies, Volume 15, Number 2, 2006, one of my main sources for information right now on the Arabian desert travels of Lehi and his family. We did take again our journey. David A. Lefevre. On page 67, he has some disagreements with Wellington and Potter, and none of the scholars have complete agreement yet because there's still so much to learn. But the summary is really important. He says this on page 67. There's confidence in the mounting evidence that's occurring now. We have a really good confidence of what's happening. Like the Lehi party moving through Arabia, as we again take our journey in the Book of Mormon, each step forward provides additional evidence supporting what the Spirit has taught to millions. It is a true ancient record. Hugh Nibley boldly said, "The book of 1 Nephi cannot possibly be explained on the grounds of mere coincidence." He identified over 100 searching questions about Lehi's story, reminding us that no one on earth could have answered them correctly in Joseph Smith's day. In our collective voyage of discovery since Nibley issued that challenge, we have progressed sufficiently to answer with certainty many of those questions and to address the rest with high confidence. Significantly, we are steadily upgrading the level of answers from confidence to certainty with each passing year. As a people, we owe a debt of gratitude to people like Hugh Nibley, who first tantalized us with a Near Eastern setting for the Book of Mormon, and President Ezra Taft Benson, who challenged us to make the book a part of the daily fabric of our lives. We're also grateful to Nibley's successors, including Brown, Aston, Potter, Wellington, the Hiltons, Chadwick, S. Camp Brown, and a host of others whose works and thinking are represented by the articles in this issue of the journal. While more insights and evidence will surely come forth in the approaching years, we can now say with confidence that the general route of Lehi and Sariah's journey from Jerusalem to Bountiful is sure, and the many details are increasingly clear. He says that better than I ever could. It's like I'm saying, as far as the plausibility, the more details we look into, we have 100% plausibility in the book of 1 Nephi, in the journey through that Arabian desert. We can state confidently the historicity of that account has been absolutely demonstrated. It's been supported in every way we can think of to learning more about that record. And the casual eyewitness details that Nephi throws into the account, every one of them can be accounted for. That's what I've been trying to do in this series of videos, and I will continue to do so in more videos in this particular playlist on the Arabian desert journey of Lehi and Sariah. It is absolutely incredible how far the Book of Mormon has come along. I've seen it said on the internet the Book of Mormon's getting weaker. That's simply false. There's no way the Book of Mormon's getting weaker. There's more and more coming out every year. Very exciting materials. And I'm nowhere near done yet with this series. It's interesting how archaeologically Lehi, as the Book of Mormon describes being one of many prophets, is actually a very accurate depiction of Jerusalem in 600 BC as well. Jeremiah, of course, they were contemporary, but there was also Habakkuk, Nahum, and the Lachish letters mention a Uriah, and he actually escaped down to Egypt and then was deported back to Jerusalem where he lost his life. So Lehi was one of many prophets, as the actual historical situation attests. I think that's incredibly important to realize. Even on that score, the Book of Mormon is exactly as it should be. I thought it was also interesting in the DVD, The Journey of Faith, concerning Sariah, how Ann Madsen said, men had the power, of course, but women had the influence. The women perhaps were not vocal in public about what they felt and thought, but in private their husbands did pay attention to them. And the other interesting thing about Sariah is she is one of the women who is actually mentioned in the Book of Mormon record. I mean, this is serious. A woman's role was essential in their survival in that desert. And it's always Lehi and Sariah taking their family out into the wilderness. And the family dynamics of the family was impressive, as Joanne Seeley had noted in the DVD. It's very interesting that Sariah's name has been discovered in the Elephantine papyri. She is the Princess of Yahweh. Sariah, Yah, the Yah is a form of the Tetragrammaton, so her name is a hypochoristicon with the divine element in it. I think that's very significant also. Nibley noted that the name Lemuel is not a conventional Hebrew one. It occurs only in one chapter in the Old Testament. It occurs in only one chapter in the Old Testament, Proverbs 3, verse 1 and verse 4, where it's commonly supposed to be a rather mysterious poetic substitute for Solomon. It is, however, like Lehi, at home in the South Desert, where an Edomite text from a place occupied by tribes descended from Ishmael bears the title, The Words of Lemuel, King of Massa. These people, though speaking a language that was almost Arabic, were yet well within the sphere of Jewish religion. We have nowhere else any evidence for saying that the Edomites used any other peculiar name for their deity than Yahweh, the God of Hebrews. The only example of the name Laman to be found anywhere to the writer's knowledge is its attribution to an ancient Muqam, or sacred place in Palestine. This is Hugh Nibley in his book Lehi in the Desert. Most of these Muqams are of unknown, and many of them are of prehistoric date. In Israel, only the tribe of Manasseh built them. It's a striking coincidence that Condor saw in the name Laman, L-E-I-M-U-N, as he renders it, the vowels must be supplied by guesswork. Laman is a possible corruption of the name Lemuel, thus bringing the two names so closely associated in the Book of Mormon into the most intimate relationship, and that in the one instance in which the name of Laman appears, far more popular among the Arabs as among the Nephites was the name Alma, which can mean a young man, a coat of mail, a mountain, or a sign. While Sam is a perfectly good Egyptian name, it is also the normal Arabic form of Shem, the son of Noah. It should be noted here that archaeology has fully demonstrated that the Israelites, then as now, had not the slightest aversion to giving their children non-Jewish names, even when those names smacked of a pagan background. One might, in a speculative mood, even detect something of Lehi's personal history in the names he gave to his sons. Laman and Lemuel have Arabic names. Do they recall his early days in the caravan trade? The second two have Egyptian names. Indeed, they were born in the days of his prosperity. The last two, who were born amid tribulations in the desert, were called with fitting humiliation Jacob and Joseph. Whether the names of the first four were meant, as those of the last two certainly were, to call to mind the circumstances under which they were born, the names are certainly a striking indication of their triple heritage. I think that's a fascinating insight into Laman and Lemuel, and Nephi, and Sam, and Joseph and Jacob.